There was an article put out by NHL.com looking at different NHL Edge stats. They're really pushing the NHL Edge stuff and promoting it. So I, like you at home, I'm sure if you're listening to an Islanders podcast in August, you're a diehard Islanders fan. Like, that's just like, so you, like me, I'm sure, are scouring the internet for just like any sort of content. So I read this. And one of the numbers that stood out, I thought, okay, maybe we could talk about this on the pod tonight. Mm-hmm. So let's do it, Mitch. The first line here of the stat that we will be discussing here is that the Islanders were 9th in the NHL in high danger shots on goal. Then it says the number, 687, last season, led by forward Anders Lee, who ranked 8th in the NHL with 115.
Yeah, that should wait 115 from just Lee himself.
That's what it says. Yeah,
115 high danger shots. Okay, wait, yeah, I'm thinking of in expected goals. But just by that alone, thinking of individual expected goals, which is a number we spewed before when it comes to Anders Lee, 3rd in the league. Zach Hyman, Austin Matthews, Anders Lee. So that shouldn't necessarily surprise us for Lee himself. But then you think about like the team, because it's not just him out there, and he wasn't playing the most on the team either. To sit there in 9th and you're going, is there a potential that this team could be in the top 10 for offense next year? If they're putting in the 9th most individual or high danger shots on goal, maybe. Can we talk ourselves into that?
I think we could talk ourselves into the Islanders being better offensively. I can't get into, and I know like the prompt here that we had is top 10 offense. I don't, that is too far for me. And okay. I'm not going to go to anything like crazy deep here, but they were 9th in high danger shots on goal, but in just simple goals for, we're 22nd in the league, and they have not been lower, or I guess higher, if you want to talk about the number being a positive.
Sure.
Their best season, they haven't been over 20th in the league since 2017-18, where they were 8th or 9th in the league in goals for. And as we know, that was the Doug Weight year, the all offense, no defense year. Obviously they
don't block shots, nothing.
Yeah, crazy. But they improved dramatically defensively, and took a step back offensively. But I don't really see how this changes overnight to a top 10 offense. Even with I'm happy that Anthony Duclair is here. That's really the only big add. Maybe Tiplikov, depending on who you ask, is a big add. And Patrick Waugh being here for a full season. Like there are factors here, those 3 in particular that I just listed off, that make me think they could be better than 22nd in the league. But I'm not thinking like a 12-team jump in goals here.
No, so okay, let's look at where they are. As you said, they're 22nd. You said in terms of goals, right?
Yes.
And that was with what 200 and what now?
246.
246 goals is what puts them there. I'm just vamping so I can get it up as well. So 246. Why do I not have the same number? Oh wait, there we go. Okay. 22nd, 240. I have 245, and I'm at NHL.com. I'm sure you have it open too, NHL.com, right?
I do have NHL, and that has 246. Are you looking at the right date?
I didn't put any dates. 23-24, regular season.
Well,
NHL.com at its best right here. It's only one goal, but still, whatever. It's
yeah.
It's so stupidly, like, it shouldn't be one goal. Anyways, we're getting hooked up over the wrong thing here. So to jump in the top 10, right? What would they need to add to jump into that top 10? They would need another 20 goals. And for obviously the rest of the league to stay the same. Assuming everyone stays the same other than the Islanders, what would they need to do? How many more do they need to bring in to get in the top 10? They would need to be at least at 266, which was Nashville last year at number 10. So they would need to add 20 goals to their team. And they probably did that with Anthony Duclair, right? Again, assuming everyone does what they're supposed to do or did what they did last year. Because they didn't lose anyone, right? Like, they didn't lose a 20 goal scorer.
No, but they lost. Like, what would Matt Martin and Kyle Clutterbuck add up to? That's I would
12?
say 12. Okay, so then they need like 32 goals then out of
Right.
Anthony Duclair if you're doing it, if you want to math it that way.
Right. That's good. See, this is why there's two of us. Okay, so 32. We're assuming Anthony Duclair maybe gets 20, or not assuming.
I'm going to say
maybe.
20
Shouldn't
to
have
25. And that's
Yeah.
if no one else gets work. I also think the chances of Kyle Palmieri scoring 30 goals again is pretty slim.
Yeah.
So I would tack 5 off of that.
Well, I'm not going to go too far because we're going to
Okay.
get into the negatives probably later, where we'll point out very aptly, like, oh, we got some problems here.
Okay.
But assuming everyone else on the team stays the same, you're right. We took out Matt Martin. We took out Cal Clutterbuck. You take their goals out. Let's say it's like 12. So we need, like you said, 32 goals. Duclair gives us at least 20. That means we need 12 from Tsiplikov, which by all accounts should hit that easily. I don't necessarily think so, but so we could ostensibly hit 10th overall just looking at the players we've got, not even considering their high danger propensity for shots on goal, apparently. So I think they could do it. But then we get into the issue, like you just said, with Kyle Palmieri, man. Can he hit 30 again?
So
Can he play 30 games?
Yeah, he played all 82, which was bizarre. Not the norm for him. He has 30 goals. Some of the other guys like Brock Nelson and Bo Horvat being 30 goal scorers, like I'm going into the season with that expectation that they could do it again. Barzal at 23 seems about right. I think between 20 and 25 is probably fair for him. Lee is a major X factor in this because he was at 20, and there were some. We've talked about leaving the meat on the bone with the expected goals for. Does that mean bounce back season? Anders Lee going to put up 28 goals again? Like, please, I hope that's the case. Or is it going to fall off even more? We're looking at like a 12 goal Anders Lee season.
Yeah, exactly. So minus 12 goals scored above expected for Anders Lee last year at 5-on-5 only, but still, that's where it matters the most. He should have had another 12 goals at 5-on-5 last year, and he didn't. So that's going to be a problem. When you look at the Islanders roster from last year and just look at individual expected goals, we'll take the high danger equation out of this. We'll look at individual expected goals. 1, 2, and 3 on the team were Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, and Kyle Palmieri. These are guys well above 30 years old. So we're not thinking about adding goals to their name. We're thinking about at some point they're going to lose them. And we've already talked about Anders Lee losing some. And as you aptly mentioned, Kyle Palmieri could very well lose some. I don't imagine he's going to be a 30 goal scorer again next year. If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.